Stain on my white collar shirt. No, oh my gosh, now I gotta wash that out. Anyway, y'all, good afternoon. I feel so weird saying that. Good afternoon, y'all. Usually I start my vlogs in the morning, but this afternoon is around lunchtime, and I just got back from the coffee shop. I still am working on the second draft of this book, and so, y'all, I'm really struggling right now to get past this chapter. I have been in this one chapter for a minute and I think the reason why I'm stuck in this chapter right now is because it's introducing the antagonist, and I'm really trying to make sure that I do it right, and I feel like that I'm really struggling to wrap this chapter up to get it finished. But that's a goal for today, to get this chapter done and move on to the next, because I can't keep dragging this out any longer. I got to get the ball going. And if y'all new to my channel, hi, I'm Hannah, and we do everything author homebody lifestyle content. I went to the coffee shop this morning, and this is the first time ever I've been into the coffee shop Jittery Joe's, and I was like, I need to try new coffee shops, because I always go to Starbucks, and sometimes I go to Dunkin' if I'm in a mood for it, and usually I go to the safe place all the time because I have really bad social anxiety. So I was trying a new coffee shop, and I love the vibe in there. Everybody was chatting and working on their laptops and doing work, and it just motivated me to want to get work done. But at the same time though, I was distracted and just people watching, being a little nosy, so it was really hard to just focus on getting stuff done. So I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna finish the rest at home. And also it's in the afternoon right now, and I have to feed the pets because it's their lunchtime right now, and they're probably wondering where's their mama, because they need food to eat. I'm just gonna wrap it up and write the rest here at home. Hopefully I get more work done. Come on, baby, come on. You ready to go outside? You ready to go outside? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Don't run over Autumn. No matter how much time you spend cleaning, best believe the mess is going to be there again the next day. I had to get out of that white collared shirt. The stain was just bothering me too much. Right now, I'm going to do some more writing this afternoon. This is the thing about when you burn down your second draft and start all over again. There's going to be a lot of days where you just don't want to write it at all. And so I was like, I'm really struggling with getting past this chapter, and it seems kind of boring. The author has to be entertained too. So I was like, how can I be entertained? And I was like, I just got to raise the stakes. From what I remember, it's basically increasing the potential consequences of the character's choices. Every choice you make obviously has consequences, and I just feel like I need to add more consequences to my two main protagonist choices right now, and something intervenes and blocks their plan from being easy, because if their plan was too easy, honestly the story in a movie just wouldn't be good. Not like a big old plot twist or midpoint twist, whatever, but something that just interrupts their plan and just makes their life a little bit worse, a little bit more stressful. I did it. I finished the chapter finally. This chapter right here was just driving me crazy for most of the week. I was struggling so much, but I'm so glad I decided to raise the stakes. It helped me so much. And I had this little thing I want to do. Every time I finish a chapter, I think I want to leave off on a cliffhanger. I don't know if that's the rule for writing chapters, but if every chapter should be that way, but I definitely want to leave off with cliffhangers. One of the lessons I have learned for struggling to write this book for such a long time is that don't leave yourself with nothing to fall back on the next day. You know what I mean? If I finish one chapter for today, right? And tomorrow I want to write the next chapter, I try to write at least the opening sentence or the opening paragraph of the scene. So tomorrow I'm not just left with a blank sheet of paper. It gave me like a head start, if that makes sense. And it just helps me out so much when I write. There have been a lot of times I show for my writing session, I'm struggling to start this chapter, struggling to start this scene. Where do I even begin? But past Hannah, which is me right now, she is helping future Hannah not struggle with her next writing session. 831 words written and 8 chapters down. I want to get a little bit faster because the deadline is the last Saturday of February. And I'm like, is it possible for me to get all this done? I don't know. I'm going to stick to this deadline no matter what. The second draft has got to be finished. Okay, hopefully y'all will see me. Y'all, it happened again. I had really bad writer's block today. I don't know what is going on. It could be because my brain is tired of writing this same story, thinking about the same story. I'm not trying to break a record, but I'm just trying to stay strong and get this book done. I do love the story idea. I love the characters. I love that I had this idea. But I'm gonna be real. Revisions and drafting, it can really make you lose interest in your story. So you gotta be creative, and you gotta find ways to fall back in love with the story. Today, I only got 669 words for this chapter. This chapter is relatively short. I didn't think it needed to be longer, but maybe I should have added a little bit more detail. The problem I had with the story last time was that my female protagonist, she's a love interest to the male protagonist, and she's very passive. I wanted the story to follow two protagonists in the story, and right now in the past she felt very passive. She just went with the flow of the plot. She wasn't really doing anything, and I'm trying to give her stuff to do, and I feel like I did a better job this go around of making her be more active instead of passive. But even though I'm struggling to stick with the story and be in love with it, I feel like the writing for this draft, doing the second draft again, has gotten better. Even though it's 5 months waste of planning, executing, and getting this done is down the drain, I'm very glad that I did do it because now the characters, the story, it feels like it's written a whole lot better. It's not the perfect final draft, but it's getting there. I can see it. So I'm done for today. I try to do at least an hour every day, a minimum. And I try to take time off on the weekends away from to give my brain like a fresh revive. And I had to say, y'all, I stayed up late last night because I had this another story idea that just wouldn't leave me alone. And I was like, oh my gosh, not this again. Not another story idea won't leave me alone. And this story idea has been in my mind, not as long as the one I'm working on now. It's different from what I would care to write. It's like a mythology, a little bit supernatural stuff in there. And I was like, I gotta work on it. So last night I stayed up almost around midnight just writing a scene that has been stuck in my head for a very long time. And I ended up writing and I was like, oh my gosh, it's really good. So I guess been writing draft 0 of that book. I'm not trying to give it all my attention because I'm trying to get this book right here done, get it over with, put all my energy, creative focus in that. But I try to say the other story idea at night when everything's out the way, all the work is done, and just down chill time. My brain could dissociate. No, this ain't my main goal for the year. This isn't my main focus, my top priority. My other book is. Anyway, so I'm just gonna walk away from this right now. Hopefully I come back to it later this evening and get a lot more written done. I keeping my New Year's goals promise, and one of the promises I told myself that I was going to educate myself more on writing and other skills too, like even with YouTube. And I have to say, y'all, these first two, wait, it hasn't been like 2 weeks, has it? Oh my gosh, it's crazy. So the first few days, the first week of January, I have been failing at keeping that promise because I told myself I'm going to read the books, I'm going to watch educational videos, I'm going to take notes, I'm going to educate myself. Haven't done any of that. So I thought, you know what? Let me do it in real time with this video. Someone in the comments said that I should just like read Story Genius. Other author YouTubers have said read this book, is really good. And I have it pulled up right here. I haven't pulled up Story Genius and oops, I pressed buttons. What I press? Anyway, I have Story Genius here on my Kindle, y'all. I have to say, reading on my iPad and my phone is like my best format of reading. Just wrapped up in a cozy blanket and just read a really good book. Nothing hits better. And I'm going to be honest with y'all right now. That's what I would much rather do right now. I would much rather late afternoon, Friday, and I would just read a book that isn't about educational stuff. I'd rather just read other books, but I'm trying to keep a promise to myself. And to make it easier for me, I was looking at a podcast with Mel Robinson. She had James Clear on it, and he basically said start easy, and he was telling a story about this guy, and he really wanted to be a person that exercised a lot and went to the gym, but he struggled to work out. So he gave himself this rule. I think it was like 2 minutes. He said just in the gym for 2 minutes, and then after 2 minutes just walk out. And it may seem like not going to do much for you at all, but he said he was developing a habit and embracing the identity of someone that is a gym person. So I was like, okay, I'm going to take James Clear's advice, and I'm going to do the same thing with this book. I had this habit, like I told y'all before about other videos, where I just do 10 minutes a day to get the habit up of reading, because I have been struggling to read in the past. Like sometimes even now, y'all, I genuinely do struggle to read. I struggle to like stay with the habit, but I'm gonna do it today for a few minutes right now. And y'all let me know in the comments below, have y'all ever read this book? What were your honest thoughts on this book? And I'm gonna be so real, y'all. I'm not gonna buy the book unless I love the first few pages, the sample they give you. So anyway, with that being said, let's get into reading. Let me tell y'all, the first page was slap in the face. We're just like barely 9 minutes in, and I was like, darn. The writer, she really knows how to keep you here for a second, and she gives you the reality check. And she showed the scary statistics. I noticed the old statistics, but still. In 2012, the New York Times reported that most self-published books sell fewer than 150 copies. Surveys reveal that agents reject over 96% of the submissions they receive. Personally, I put the number even higher. Oh my God, not her put it higher. So it's no surprise that writers end up disappointed, sad, and sometimes even a tad bitter. Worse, they convinced that their failure proves one thing: they have no talent. And oh my gosh, the problem is we don't know what a real story is. We don't know. So I'm definitely going to finish reading this. So far, it's only page 1. I might be a little bit over dramatic, but I am enjoying it already. And we're only on page 1, guys. But I gotta say, the first page was a bit brutal. Slap in the face. I was not ready for those numbers. And then she said right here, like, countless writers end up heartbroken because no matter how hard they work, how many writing workshops they take, how many degrees they earn, they still can't get an agent, can't get a book deal. They can't get anyone other than their friends and family to buy their books. Like, oh my gosh, it makes me kind of like scared of the reality. Like, I thought making a video about this, about fears of being want to be a writer, But one of my greatest fears is wasted all these years, the hard work, sweat, and tears, only for no one wanted to buy it. Because I have heard that cases many times before. No one wants to buy people's books, but no one. I remember this one time I was on TikTok, y'all, and there was this guy, and he had a book signing. I think it was at Barnes and Nobles, and literally like nobody showed up. And it just makes me just kind of worry. Like, that's one of my fears of wanting to be a writer, that no one wants your work. You know what I mean? No one wants to see that. And it's just like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know. I'm just gonna keep reading. I'm not gonna get too emotionally attached to this, but I'm just gonna keep on reading. I have been enjoying this read. The 10 minutes I spent reading this book, y'all, I have been really enjoying it. It's been nice, cozy, relaxing reading time that I so needed. And even though what she was saying was basically a punch in the gut for the truth with a lot of writers, is something that I know I needed to hear. But I think one of the main problems that I have had is that I think a lot of times I'm guilty of this. I know a lot of writers are, as she clearly stated in the book. A lot of us are too focused on the external plot, what's going to happen, all that stuff. But a lot of times we forget it's the internal journey of a character. That's why people get obsessed with stories, movies, because we love the characters. We love the journey they go on. We love these people because they're just so interesting to watch their human response and reaction to things. And I know I'm guilty of this. I truly sometimes forget that it's about the characters, and I'm just so focused on what can happen next, what can happen next. And that's why I think that's why I've struggled to write these chapters for the past few days, and struggling with that because I keep forgetting about the internal conflict. I was just going to write some more today, but then I think to myself, will I figure it out as I write? But at the same time, though, maybe I should spend a moment just journaling and reflecting on who these characters are. So, in conclusion, I'm for sure buying this book. I'm enjoying it, y'all. I feel like I need to learn something. But anyway, after reading this, it kind of got me in the mood to read. Make another cup of coffee, my 100th cup of coffee for today. I just want to just curl up on the couch with a good book right now. I don't know, but we're just gonna see what happens.